Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down. This is the place where we aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the different facets from scents, cigars to wines. If that sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and let's enhance. So in today's experience, I'll be presenting to you one of my favorite, the TANDEM experience. This is a review I'll be doing for the Fragrance du Bois Oud Noir Intense and EP Carillo's Prequel Pledge cigar. So ladies and gentlemen, what I have here for Oud Noir Intense is a fragrance done by Francois Merlet Baudon. This is a warm, spicy, citric, floral, woody, musky fragrance with hints of oud that is done spectacularly. For me, this fragrance is just immaculate, with an uncanny ability to have a fragrance that can set a proverbial stage of masculinity and elegance while creating a presence that kind of elevates one's surroundings. Is a phenomenon that fragrance enthusiasts have come to be enthralled with, including myself. You know, we're looking for pristine beauty and just with imagery of opulence amongst the hustle and bustle of daily routines that will provide us with moments of reflection while also serving as a conduit to escapades of romance, so to speak. And here I present to you a fragrance that sets that stage exactly. That is Oud Noir Intense. You know, upon reading the note to the chorus, one might consider that Oud Noir Intense is a homage to a floral woody genre that is kind of rudimentary, using rose and oud thrown in to have a, so to speak, a chord that is overdone, so to speak. We all know of the rose oud combinations. This is not the case with Oud Noir Intense. Yes, you can perceive the sensorial vibe of the aforementioned accords, yet the quality of this blend gives you an aspect that is quite unexpected. The character of this fragrance gives a glimpse at the intellect and intriguing just use of notes in a composition that is smooth as silk, and as I would say, it's as intoxicating as a lover's whisper. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Okay, so to me, this is a fragrance that is nicely done, blended by a perfection, by a master perfumer. This is a subliminal sultriness vibe that is intense, embracing, yet strangely evocative of a dignified gentleman. It is warm yet cooling. It is floral yet woody, and vibrant yet subdued, which is a miraculous and intoxicating composition. The heart in the mid, you know, it blends spices, citruses. It brings woods. It creates a silvery, cooling tone feeling, almost ozonic, like it has violet in it. Violet is not mentioned in the note structure, but I smell a violet, a greenness, ozonic violet. It's a, it's almost like mineralization transformed into scent. Very nicely done. The bergamot lingers and intertwines with the heart just as it did in the opening. Now with a bevy of rich vanilla, like a vanillic rose, like you would smell in Mason Francis Kirkjohn's Satin Mood. The saffron introduces itself as a very subtle complement to the woody nuances of santal and oud, a nice pungent yet refined petrol oud, and is deployed in fantastic amounts. The heart is very gorgeous in this particular scent. That indolic jasmine amongst that Bulgarian rose accord is very, very nicely done. It's beautiful. And on the dry down for this particular fragrance, with this blend of accords coming off this unique and almost mercurial, passionate and exotic, you don't encounter this type of fragrance that often. It's a perfume that is of the highest level of sophistication, while giving the mesmerizing duality of overt sexuality, while being able to wear it formally and more sophisticated than one would think. This is full of character, in my opinion. It's the best, to me, it's best to be described as a vibe. And the vibe of this perfume is, rather than just spinning off in telling of the list of comprised notes, this is meant to stimulate emotional connections and provide links to an attainable life to me. This is style, this is choice, this is affluence. This full stop, the pinnacle of which aspiration is minimal, is what I feel in this fragrance. It's creamy, it's musky, it's patchouli, it's dark agarwood, it's smoky, it's sweet, seductive, spiced, like a nice cardamom spice floral component. It is a very immaculate and potent perfume. Noir is a perfect name for this fragrance. It is environment enhancing. It is beautiful. It's evocative of sexual. It is evocative of dignified gentlemen. This is a grand perfume and one that I'm very happy to have in my collection. This is a beautiful, beautiful rose oud. I want to say rose oud. This is rose jasmine oud combination. To me, the first of its kind. And I'm falling in love with this fragrance in the few weeks I've had it, and I had to bring it to you guys' attention how beautiful it actually was to give my take on it. And that is Oud Noir Intense, done by the House of Fragrance du Bois. Beautiful fragrance. I can't say enough about it. This may be my signature scent, to be honest with you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the cigar memoir. Today we will be talking about EP Carillo's grand opus, the Prequel Pledge. This cigar, I must say, out of all the cigars that I plan on reviewing and have reviewed, this is one that I have smoked the most of. This is a cigar I smoked no fewer than 50 cigars. This is a Dominican Republic origin cigar wrapped in a Connecticut Habano. Its binder is Ecuadorian, its filler is Nicaraguan, and as you guys know, as I've mentioned previously, I am a smoker of Robusto-sized cigars, which I enjoy thoroughly. So, for the Prequel Pledge, its appearance is a soft box press, dark espresso wrapper. It has a number of obvious veins running up and down the length. There's also quite a bit of oily presence and slightly toothy textures with these particular cigars. They are packed very tight with very little give in a firm pack, which I like. It still has a nice draw while being firmly packed, especially the Robusto size. And that is one of my favorite things to have. It creates a great combustion, and the aromas are complex when coming through such a tight pack for this particular cigar. Aromas from the foot with this particular cigar, I get a combination of cacao, slight maple sweetness, a hint of suede leathery accords. Virginia cedar is something I get very much. Smoky greenness, kind of like a vetiver smell, and also a gritty earth texture to it. Those are the aromas getting off the foot. Now, on the cold draw, it brings out the flavor of the cacao, very dark cacao. What I would say is almost an 88% dark cacao chocolate bar that you will get in this. It's that bitter, sweet joy. It's that bittersweet, just that chocolate that you will get from the candy bar. Is, when I say bittersweet, it's almost a savory feel on the tongue, but you know that it's chocolate that you're eating. So the essence is in your mind of chocolate sweetness. As I said, you get the gritty earth textures of the cold draw, leather, hay, nuts, and a slight vanilla bean sweetness comes with that initial cold draw for this type of cigar, or this particular cigar, I should say. Very nice cold draw. And so on the first third of the EP Carillo, what I get is large amounts of spice, including black pepper on the retrohale. It never threatens to overwhelm any flavor that might be present at this point in time. But thankfully, you know, the spices and pepper in the first third, they die down fairly quickly, leaving behind a very dominant combination of creamy cedar and those cacao nips that I'm so thoroughly trying to explain to you guys. It's followed by notes of leather, earth, toasted bread, um, almost a nutty walnut shell. You also get espresso beans. It's a very nicely done earth. It's nicely done. This is a very complex cigar. And in trying to explain it, even after smoking so many of it, it becomes very difficult because you get so many nuances from these particular tobaccos working together, and the faucets that come across, the aromas that come off of it. If you're sitting alone in your cigar room, try your best to let this sit in the ashtray and get the aromas off it, because that is a particular way this cigar really surprised me. Um, it's also noticeable that you'll get a caramel sweetness on a retrohale, as well as some generic vegetable style vetiver that comes and goes, slightly with the finish on the tongue. Construction wise, the burn is almost always razor sharp with these particular cigars, and the draw features are very, very slight resistance to them, especially with the straight cut. While smoke production on these is above average at the foot, in terms of strength, the Prequel starts out fairly mild, and it does increase noticeably, but it never gets to a point that is more than medium full. It's medium full, almost mild, and that's the first third, almost to the end of the first third. In the second third of the cigar, you get the caramel sweetness on the finish that begins to fade into the background, while the spice on my tongue decreases noticeably as well. Additionally, the generic vegetable note has a finish that has become distinct enough to remind me of cabbage, which is kind of funny. It reminds me of cabbage from my garden, but it is also even close to strong enough to evoke like a dominant flavor of creamy cedar, espresso, and cacao. Additional notes of leather, bitter espresso, hay, cinnamon now, and that walnut. A touch of florals come in as well, and that's in various amounts. The black pepper on the retrohale continues along. It's the same path. It's slight. In terms of construction, both the draw and the burn continue to impress me, while the smoke production continues to be both copious, dense, yet ethereal. It comes off and dissipates after a smoke that is a strong stream coming off, and it billows, and that's a very good cigar for me. The overall strength increases a bit by the end of the second third, coming very close to, it's on the edge of full, but always stays just at that medium full, which is good. It still rises a bit toward the end of the second third, beginning of the final, but it's always on that edge of medium full. Getting down to the final third, there are a few major changes to the profile during the final third, in my opinion, of the EP Carillo Pledge. There are a few major changes that go to the profile and the construction during the third. It does not include many of the dominant flavors that came before it. It remains a familiar combination of creamy cedar and creamy oak with the cacao nibs. But having said that, the vegetable feel is far gone. It's no longer there for me. In both the spices on my tongue and the retrohale seem to be increasing. So the spice towards the end of the cigars is elevated. The burn has started to waver a little bit also in those cigars that I've had, most of them, especially the two that I did the pre-smoking for this review for. The burn will get slight of wonky in that final third. But finally, why I am not surprised that this is a great cigar for me. It easily passes the medium mark on strength. The body is phenomenal. The complexities and balance of the cigar are impeccable. It seems to me that feeling the strength at the end of the cigar is one of the qualities that makes me elated to smoke this particular cigar. Before I put the nub down at about an inch to an inch and a quarter, I am always happy with having smoked EP Carillo Pledge Prequel. This is a distinct cigar in my collection of cigars in my humidor that I have bought 2 boxes of, in which I have gone through both and now have on hand a 10-pack. And I must say that as the high-rated 98-point cigar from Oficio Sonado, or cigar aficionado, that this is indeed worthy of that particular scoring point. I love the way this cigar smokes, the complexities, as I said, the balance, the body, the aromas, everything about this cigar is grand. And I suggest to anyone who is agreeing with my flavor palettes and aroma combinations that I like to smoke, if they get out and try the EP Carillo Pledge Prequel. Okay, guys, that's my experience with you today. I hope that you enjoyed the content. As always, I ask that if you did take anything of entertaining value or educational in your journey, that you leave a comment below, subscribe, like, let me know what you think of the content. Let me know, are you guys a fan of Fragrance Du Bois as a house? Are you guys knowledgeable of EP Carillo as a blender manufacturer? Are you guys enjoying the Pledge or any of his other cigars? Because I quite enjoy most of his blends. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I leave you with peace. Stay blessed.